What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and to another episode. Today I'm gonna upgrade motor mounts on the M3. Now when I say upgrade is because currently I'm running stock motor mounts, which are a bit tired, have about 70,000 miles on them, mostly of them track miles, so they're definitely been used to their extent. Last time I inspected them, they had some visible cracks, so it's time to upgrade. And when I say upgrades, I decided to give it a try and test these 34 Motorsport motor mount, which supposedly are a middle ground between a stock mounts and pure race mounts. There it is unpacked. Now they basically look the same as stock mounts, which I'll show you when I remove the original ones, but the biggest difference between these and the stock mounts is the rubber is a bit stiffer. I think this is a 55 diameter rubber, and I believe stocks are 50, and some of the voids internally in the mounts are supposedly filled in on these, opposed to the stock ones per the 34 Motorsports specification sheet. Therefore these mounts have a better feel to them and are more performance oriented than the stock mounts. Now the biggest drawback of these type of mounts, supposedly, I don't know as of yet because I haven't tried these, is basically and there's a couple options out there, and usually these mounts will have some vibration at low RPMs or at idle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a video of the inside, how the say for example the steering wheel, because I guess that's where it's pronounced the most on these mounts. Is there any vibration coming through the steering wheel at idle with the stock ones that I currently have, which again have about 70,000 miles on it? And when I install these, see what that vibration is there any increase in the vibration, or is it the same, etc. So I will report back once these are in the car. Here we are inside the car with the car idling at normal RPMs, about 900 RPMs. This is the stock RPMs, and obviously you can't see it in the video, but I'll give you my feedback. So when I touch the steering wheel, I do feel some resonation from the engine, so there is a little bit of pronunciation through the steering wheel on the stock mounts. Again, my stock mounts have about 70,000 miles on it, so they're not crispy fresh. So this is not a new mount to new mount comparison. This is used mount to a 34 Motorsport comparison example, which most people are gonna encounter. So there is a little bit of resonation I felt through the steering wheel. It's not something major, so I'm very curious to see what it's gonna be when we install the new mounts on the car. I mean, revving it out, you can't really feel anything. See him go adding slightly throttle, and once we lift the RPMs, that goes away. The steering wheel is completely numb, so to speak, and there's no resonation coming from the drive line. Now again, at idle there is a minimal resonation coming through onto the steering wheel. So let's go out and change these, and we'll see how this will be impacted after we change the mounts to the 34 Motorsport mounts. Now to change them is very simple. All you need is a 16 millimeter and bunch of extensions, which we're about to lift the car, and you also will need a jack to lift an engine on left or right side, depending which mount you are using. So let me lift the car up, and we'll install these real quick and make a comparison and see if these are a better option for someone that's looking for a dual performance upgrade Now that we're under the car, we need to take the thrust plate off in order to get access to the left and right motor mount, and we need a 16mm socket. Now that we have the thrust plate off, we're going to start with the left side, which is the harder one. So there's the 16mm bolt for the bottom, which is pretty easy to get to. Now the top one is the tricky one, because since I have the CSLR box, there's not much room access from the top. I actually managed to slip this with a bunch of extensions and swivels past the airbox. I don't know if you could see, but the socket is on the physical nuts, and I could turn it, and I'm loosening it. You probably cannot see it, but you just have to take my word for it. So let me loosen it, and then we're gonna lift the engine. Moving down to the bottom here, you want to lift the engine somewhere around here. This way, I don't know if you could tell, way over there you can see the motor mount. You pump it, as you can see, it's slowly lifting the engine off the motor mount. So that's what we want to do until we could clear it out and just slide it right under the mount. Once you have enough clearance, lift the mount out of place. You can see it will just go out. It should clear over here. Why is this not going? It's probably because I have a camera in my hand. That's probably why. There it is. There's a comparison between the left mount and the brand new mount. You can see they look the same, but like I mentioned, the internal design is a little bit different on these 34 Motorsport mounts than the standard ones. So we'll see how they compare. But you could see this bit, some of the rubber is already cracked here, right there, and if it's a little bit squished as well. It's not as tall as this one. So let's put this back in. Same procedure to reinstall it. Just slide it in there and tighten these two nuts and drop the engine out. That's pretty much it. This is actually pretty good access if you have the right swivels. It's easy. You could easily torque it down and nice and snug. So this side is complete. Now the right side is a piece of cake, because you could see the bolt right there. You can just undo it, and the bottom one is a piece of cake as well. So that should literally take 10 minutes, if so. And we have the passenger or right side mount out. I lifted the engine by the AC compressor bracket. You can also do it over there, but I think this is the easiest. Here's a comparison of the right side mount. This is much more flattened. You could visually tell that this is much thicker. You could tell that this one, it has about 63, and the new one has about 69. So there's a huge difference. So let's put this in. Make sure you don't forget the heat shield on this side. Alright, got the mount installed. So both sides are installed. Gotta put the thrust plate on and the pen belly, and we'll take it for a test drive. Here we are inside the car after the installation with the car idling, and first thing I noticed I want to share with you guys is the vibration that I had, or resonance, coming through the steering wheel on the new mounts compared to the old ones that I had installed on the car is actually slightly less, which is a big surprise. I thought it would be a little bit more pronounced, but it's actually less, so that's a very nice surprise. So in that regard, while the car is idling, I don't feel any additional NVH coming through the chassis as it was before. So that's a pleasant surprise. Now it's actually a couple days later, because I wanted to make sure I give an accurate description of these mounts installed. So where these actually major benefits that I found with these mounts is on the road. So let's take it on the road, and I'll share what I have noticed in regards to these mounts on the road while the car is in motion. Now this is where these mounts really shine. Doing this, rolling through gears, I mean, now it's effortless. The gear changes are so much crispier than before. I also have Rogue Engineering transmission mounts for quite a while installed in this car, so the shift action wasn't bad, so to speak. But with these paired with these mounts, it's truly a blast to drive. I mean, the shifts are so crisp. I can't really complain in regards to that. I mean, who doesn't want to have a nicer or better feeling shifter? These mounts provide way better experience than I was anticipating originally. I mean, it's shifting is it's phenomenal. Can't really. I don't think you could find a better option, which has a middle ground, being that it won't degrade your ride quality while improving the overall dynamics of the car. I mean, based on my experience for the last few days, I could only not say nothing but good things about these mounts. So at least from me, I would highly recommend these mounts to anybody considering something as a middle ground upgrade in terms of performance and drivability for this chassis. I mean, these mounts also fit other e46 chassis cars, even E90 M3 cars. So it's definitely an improvement, and the description of the mounts as 34 Motorsports has described them in their publications. Really fits the picture so very well. So again, I mean, I can't complain. It's really well put together mount, and it does not degrade the ride quality. Like I was anticipating at least having or seeing some kind of negative aspects of having these installed, but honestly, I have found none. I mean, I've been driving with them for past 5-6 days. Then I did a track day, and I could say nothing but good things about these mounts. So again, I will highly recommend them. This is not a sponsored review or anything like that. If you did find this information helpful, don't forget to hit a like, consider subscribing to the channel, and I will catch you on the next one.